We will be working with the calendar, or as it's called here, events. I'm going to come over to the events and I'm going to hit all events. That's so that you can see what is already currently being showed up on your calendar. Now, if you notice, a lot of them have this BR in them. BR represents the word break, and that is so that when we're on your calendar, that will tell this word class and 4 p.m. to put itself down here. The calendar is only so wide, so if you have too much verbiage, it runs off into the next square, so it's better to put in these breaks. And if you notice, I have them on almost every single one of them so that they will appear nicely on the event calendar. So we're going to go up to the top here and we're going to say add new. We're going to call this new event game night. And we're going to say what time it is. And if you wanted to add more information, like bring a dish to pass or bring your own games, if you added something then you could put that in here. This does not show up actually in the calendar squares, but if somebody hovers over the link in the calendar, then this information would show up. Or if they clicked on it, then if you had a bunch of information, then all that information would show up. So most times you won't be using that feature. So go down here to choose a date, and we're going into the next month, and we'll just say, for instance, you're going to have game night on Friday nights. If it's a one and done, then you don't need to add anything in the other categories here, and you would, not categories, but boxes. You could go over here and you could click fellowship. This helps categorize your events in case you're looking for something quickly. You don't need anything out of the options. If you had a graphic that you were going to use, you could click on set feature. We don't have anything on here for game night, but if you, let's say you got something off the internet that had said game night on it, and I'll just click this just for now, just so that we can put up something, but you don't have to. And that would be the featured image, and we're going to publish this immediately, and I would hit publish. Now let's say we just got a call from the person that's organizing it, and there might be an issue with the date. So we don't want to delete this, but you can go up here and you can schedule it to show, maybe she's going to call you back later. So we'll just put the 29th and change the date. This also works backwards. Let's say you loaded up a sermon on a Tuesday from Sunday. You could backdate your sermon on here also. I'm getting emails, and so that's what all the noise is there. And so you could also backdate something to like the 25th or whatever. So, but if you put it ahead, it will say that it's going to schedule it. So now it's scheduled for January 29th to come on 11:37 a.m. So, and you would hit schedule. So if you notice before, this said publish, now it says schedule. So either one, how you're doing it, most times you will be doing it, for, the day that you're doing it is okay to publish at that date, unless you have other extenuating circumstances. So we will hit update on there. Now, I want to see how that looks on the calendar, and I don't think it'll show up on your website page because you have a limited number that show up on the left-hand side, and so no, it does not show up there. But if we go into your calendar and we go over to February, we will show game night. If I hover over it, there is the symbol that shows up. It's not showing up all the way right now, but if we go into event details, then here is that section where it says bring your own games. I'm going to go back into that, and now let's just say, I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I'm going to go back into all events, and now we're just going to say we need to cancel that or change it. You could, if you're just canceling it, you don't ever want to use it again, then you can just hit trash. If you need to change it because they've now voted to have this on every Friday, you can say that you would like it to happen weekly. If it's every Friday, nothing's going to change. You don't need to change any of these. If you wanted to have it change the day of the week for something else, then you certainly could do that here. If it was going to be something that was monthly, You know, it's always going to happen there. And you can also change it to where it's the second Friday. It's always the fourth Friday. You can change and mess around with things like that. This reoccur until, so let's say this is just going to be a wintertime activity. So we're only going to do this in winter. and spring, there's going to be some other things coming up. So we can give it an end date. We'll just say the end date is going to be March 24th. And that's what we're going to do. One other thing that we could do, if you know for a fact that in February we'll just say again on the 24th of February, not March, we have a special service that night. And so we definitely are not going to have game night. Then we can exclude one date, which was February 24th. So that's all the different kind of activities. Actually, I'm going to leave that on there so we can look at the calendar and check that out. So I'm going to update this. And we're going to go back up here to go look at anything on your page. Go back up to First Trinity, visit site. And we are going to go back into the calendar section. We're going to go to February. And now we see that game night is on this Friday. And then this is the next Friday of the month. So we're going there. If you would go into the following month, again, game night is showing up on the first Friday of the month. That's just the particular way we had it set up. But we don't have a game night, and so we need to erase it. I'm going to go back into all events, and I am just going to trash our example. If, in fact, you do put something over on the left-hand side, let me grab something, a Bible study. I'll show you the difference that it makes on your front page. I am going to go and I'm going to upload something from a different file that I have. There we go. This is Bible study. So I just uploaded something from my desktop onto the computer, and Bible study shows. We're going to update that, and this is how it would appear on your website. Go down to events, and it shows it. Now see, I used the wrong size. There's a particular size that you can use, and it's a rectangular size, but that's the difference in showing. If you pick a featured image, it's going to show up on your front page here. I'm going to delete that and update it again. And that's basically how to use the calendar. If you look on my YouTube video, you will see that there's other tutorials for calendar and events, and maybe I hit on something in one of those that you didn't see here. Feel free to check all those out. God bless.